Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. Today, we have not only 4 regular standard badass decks for you to try out, but we have 2 high voltage decks and a last chance review of Scorn. Let's, in fact, kick this video off with that last chance review of Scorn. Scorn is a Series 5 card, a 1/2. When you discard this, return it to your hand and give it +2 power, as well as +2 power to one of your cards in play. This can lead to very easily Scorn being a double-digit generating power card. 2 discards if you end up playing Scorn is 1/9 in power. That's huge. It's +4 every single time she's played, right? So at the end of the day, this is an absolutely stellar card if you're able to discard it multiple times. And that's the big caveat here. This is a card that is extremely important for discard decks, but not very important anywhere else. If you are not intending to play a lot of discard, this is an easy skip. If discard is one of your main decks, this is an easy buy. This is a nice simple binary. Do you want discard? If yes, get Scorn. If no, skip Scorn. It does not have any other homes. It does enable some cool different discard decks like the one we're about to look at, but it is not a requirement overall. All right. This is a discard list that our friend SuperTech God created. The SuperTech God is one of my favorite people in the whole Marvel Snap community. Hopefully you know him. Hopefully you check him out. He is the only player I know of in this entire game who is completely variant complete, as in he owns every variant that Second Dinner has released in this game. SuperTech God has created this list. This is like the only Scorn list I've seen that doesn't run Proxima, so if you don't have Proxima, this is really good for you. And the other reason we're featuring this right now is you might have noticed that it is weekend mission time. And if you happen to get Scorn, this deck will get rid of all of your weekend missions in one shot, since this deck also runs Agent Venom. Agent Venom is bad for Apocalypse, but good for everything else in the deck. But Apocalypse is one discard from just getting back to where he started, and this list has no issue discarding Apocalypse so many times that downside ends up not really mattering, while the +2 from Agent Venom ends up absolutely great on cards like Morbius, on cards like Dracula, even on Rogue or Magic, and so on. All right, you can find SuperTechGod on twitch.tv/SuperTechGod, but you should also check out his YouTube where he has awesome, really cool, fun gameplay for this deck. Go check out SuperTechGod, please. This deck needs Scorn and Agent Venom. Rogue for Swarm is totally fine, and everything else here is Series 3, so this is a relatively cheap deck. This is about as cheap as you get for a modern discard list. All right, so this went 9-1, but I gave it a try, and this is legit. Is this the best deck in the game? No. Scorn doesn't go in the best deck in Marvel Snap. Scorn is just a good card. However, this is still a very strong list. It's a powerful list. You will win games with this list. So turn 1, you pass. You don't want a Blade almost no matter what here. You're saving Blade for later. He is too potentially powerful later to waste early. Turn 2, Agent Venom is your priority. That's generally better than Morbius, which is generally better than, obviously, better than passing. Turn 3, you want Magic. Feel free to Mystique Morbius if you don't have Wong at this point, but I would play Magic over either of those, and you obviously need to get Morbius down before you can Mystique anything. Turn 4, you would really like to Wong. If you have not seen Wong, you're playing Dracula. Turn 5, you can Mystique that Wong with Morbius or Colleen or Blade, depending on what you're capable of hitting that turn. Or you can just drop Magic. Remember, this is your last Magic turn. You will play Magic over literally anything this turn. Or you can drop Dracula. If you do have to Magic that turn, you're really hoping to play it with either Morbius or Colleen Wing. Turn 6 is the same concept as turn 5. You're trying to basically get out a Wong bow here. You want to get Wong out and ideally Mystique. If you think your opponent is running Cosmo, make those in 2 different lanes. You will be totally fine. They'll stick the Cosmo one lane. You'll be able to win the other. And then turn 7 is drop all the discarders you can. Make sure that Gambit is among them. Gambit will take out a bunch of their power. You will watch the numbers on all of your cards fly up because of Scorn. Apocalypse will be either Apocalypse or Dracula will be the final discard. Sorry, either Apocalypse or Scorn will be the final discard for Dracula, which works out really great for this list. And Morbius is huge, and then Gambit takes out half the opposing cards. List is wildly strong. It is about as consistent as I've ever seen for this list. It feels like a wombo combo, and then you play it, and it's like, oh, this just has enough ways to get the stuff going that it doesn't matter. What Scorn really does here is it says, I didn't get my Gambo 8,000 kills. Okay, so I just basically got like 25 power out of Scorn, and then I'm able to just like win with my other power cards. Really cool, really strong. Like if you can get the if you end up with a Morbius and I always get Mobius and Morbius confused, excuse me. A Morbius and a Mystique, and then you can go Wong, discard, discard, discard. Like, they just get so big that they're lane winners all by themselves. Very, very cool list. All right, right after this, we're going to take one last look at it. Then we've got the thumbnail deck, which is an insane, insane meta counter. It's got so much play into all the things people are playing at the top of the game. But one last look, this is the best deck if you want to get your weekend missions done in one shot. And if you want to have, honestly, some really like serious Marvel Snap fun, there are so few decks that match this. Don't hesitate, by the way, to bring this into high voltage. It's really good there too. Hey, before we go any further, we're trying to hit 15,000 subs by the end of the year, and we are flying up there. Thank you so much to our wonderful, amazing supporters. But if you would like to be one, please hit that sub button. It would mean the world to us if you would help us on our journey to 15,000 subs and hopefully then beyond. A like and a comment also tell the YouTube algorithm that they should show us to more people, and they would help a massive amount too. In return, you get 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. The past several weeks, we're doing 9 full-length videos a week. If you want more top-notch Marvel Snap content than anyone, this is the spot for you. We have the best decks in the game before anyone else. We've got 2 decks in this video that you are straight up not going to see anywhere else. So please make sure you hit that sub button, hit that like, hit that comment. In addition, subbing, liking, commenting helps you win a season pass. We are giving away 1 season pass a week. I guess I'm announcing last week's on Monday's video because I forgot to pull this week. But we are giving away 1 season pass a week until the last week of the season, which is next week, not this week that's starting now, next week, where we will give away 5 of the new season pass. We will, in addition, be giving away 5 the week after that. So if you are looking for the new season pass card to Surtur, this is the place to get it for free. It's our way of giving back to the community who has supported us so very much. All right, Amano's OG. So Amano created this completely original deck that I think is really, really great. This is obviously built around the Storm, War Machine, Legion combo, and it does an amazing job at hitting that consistently. But this is the most consistent way you can hit that combo, right, in the game. But it has so many other ways to win. It has a million ways to put out power and absolutely dominate the opponent. This list is incredible. Amano played it in the event, what are we calling it? The Marvel Snap tournament hosted by Second Dinner this past week, and finished in 9th place. We'll have a bunch more tournament decks for you. We've been exclusively getting basically all the tournament decks, so we'll have a bunch more of those for you tomorrow. But Amano is out at 9th place out of like 200 creators, something along those lines, and Amano played unbelievably. This deck is absolutely amazing into the regular ladder meta. The things people are playing on ladder just straight up fold to this. They are playing greedy things that Mobius crushes, and Sandman crushes all the bounce that's everywhere. And remember, tomorrow we have a new bounce card coming. I'll review that. Sorry, excuse me. In 2 days we have a new bounce card coming. I will review that card tomorrow. I'm not going to do the full review video, but we're going to review it tomorrow. And in that review, you're going to see exactly why this kind of deck is the meta answer. Through the roof power. So you can find Amano at twitter.com/10_AMNS. Check out Amano. He is one of the better tournament players in Marvel Snap. I've only ever seen him in 2 tournaments, but he came in 2nd place to Lambie in the 2nd ever Conquerors event. And then he was absolutely a beast in this tournament. So Amano is a legitimate, phenomenal player. Go check him out. Japanese player, wonderful player. So this deck needs War Machine, Legion, Mobius, and Swan. You can do without the other cards, which are Hydra Bob and Nico, which can be Ant-Man, Martyr, and Silver Sable. So turn 1 you pass, turn 2 you drop Black Swan. Turn 3 you play Storm over Mobius. If you end up playing Mobius, you're just fine. Turn 4, you would really like to War Machine. If you can't War Machine, you really want to play Jubilee. If you played War Machine, you are, and you don't have Legion, you are hopefully playing War Machine in the Storm lane, so you can Legion and hopefully hit that, you can Blink and hopefully hit that Legion in that Storm lane. That's a wonderful combo, right? Like, you're perfectly happy to do that. You can also end up going Storm, Jubilee, and hitting either War Machine or Legion that way. So this has that extra way of all you have to do is see Storm on 4, and then you have multiple ways of getting that whole combo out in order to win the game. Legion is auto and obviously Snap if you're going to make that combo, right? Snap before you even Storm in that case. Sometimes they'll have like a Cosmo to stick in that lane, but fine. They're sticking 3 in that lane. You often end up with enough power to win anyway at that point. Turn 5, Legion of Auto Win. You can blink to pull for Auto Win, and if you don't have any of that stuff, you just drop Sandman, and hopefully you've gotten Mobius Sandman, and now all their stuff costs one more, and all your stuff does not, and you are just in a command lead. The only situation where you don't really want a Sandman on turn 5 is the decks that are trying to Eliath on 6, because Sandman doesn't work on 6 drops, but in every other case, Sandman on turn 5 is absolutely incredible. At that point, you also want to trigger Swan. If you don't see Swan on turn 1, you're going to play like a Hydra Bob and then another one, but make sure you don't play them all. Turn 6, Infinite and free ones, or you can go for an Infinite with a blink and a 1. And that's it. That's how you win. This list puts out an absolutely insane amount of power. Do not hesitate to play it. You will not feel bad. We're going to talk about some high voltage decks, but I want to just take one last look. So your last turn can be, for example, you can go Infinite and then Ebony Maw, Hydra Bob, and Nico if you play War Machine into and Black Swan, which is obviously just crazy power, right? You just dropped 34 power at least, but if you don't see that Infinite, but you do see Black Swan, you can still go Blink into Hydra Bob and Nico, right? If you see Ebony Maw, you can play Blink in all three. If you don't see that Black Swan, now you can just go hopefully you've got War Machine out. Now you can just drop like a Legion for a location you like in an Ebony Maw for a perfectly fine 14 power spread out. There's a million ways to win with this. This list is through the freaking roof power. Hell, you can end up going like Hydra Bob and Jubilee on turn 5, and then you can blink on turn 6 with Nico, or if you have War Machine, blink on turn 6 with Ebony Maw, and then with get rid of the Jubilee with blink, and then Ebony Maw as well. Out, like, just so much power, so many ways to put out crazy power with this list, so many answers to what the meta is doing. Not weak to opposing Goliath, mildly weak to opposing Cosmo, but not terribly. Has an answer to everything. Top notch deck. Play it. Hey, it's time for some high voltage decks. High voltage, I just got my Agony yesterday, playing fundamentally the same decks I've been telling you I've been playing all along, but we have 2 more people with some really cool high voltage brews. Remember, high voltage, you can fully get everything you want without winning a ton, but trying out cool brews in this amazing new mode is still a ton of fun. So first we have Mystery LA's Voltage. This list is so cool. It is a sort of go over the top nonsense list. It's ridiculous how often you can turn one Wiccan. If you can turn one Wiccan, you are so far ahead. You are just dropping everything. You can drop literally everything at that point. You can go turn one Ebony Maw in one lane, like Negasonic another lane, then Namora them on turn 2, and play more cards in that Namora lane for tons of power. If you can get an early Scarlet Spider and early Gwenpool, you can go Gwenpool into Scarlet Spider and Namora, and just the sheer silly amount of combos you have with this list is completely insane. If you have Namora, go try this out. This is the most successful list I've seen. Mr. ELA, who you can find on Twitter, comes with E with 5 spaces, LA. It went 16-1 with this. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. 16-1's pretty damn good, right? So this deck needs basically all the cards except Red Guardian, which can be Rogue or Shang-Chi. Everything else is kind of needed. They're all combo pieces here. Namora is your way to get your cards big early, because remember, you're trying to get a big Scarlet Spider. Blink is your way to make sure that all those 3s turn into more important cards. Because if you end up going Red Guardian on 2 or Negasonic on 2, or Copycat on, you get the idea here, on 2, and then you can blink that on 1, and then you can blink that on 2, then you're just like stupidly ahead. Juggernaut, really great early to be blinked, etc., etc., etc. We get the idea at this point. Super cool list. Again, 16-1, you know you want to try it. Then we have the Unfit Paro, Evo, Afflict, Voltage. I mean, so I've always wanted to play a High-Vo list that just goes ridiculously greedy, right? And this list is ridiculously greedy. It's got the Hulk, the Eliath, the Abomination, the Ajax, even the Man Thing. But also, please note no Hazmat. I was boggled when I saw no Hazmat in this. Be honest with you, I think I would personally probably still run Hazmat here. But this list puts up a ton of power. It's trying to basically say, if I get Cassandra Nova on the first couple turns, U.S. Agent and Man Thing will make my Ajax more than big enough to win the game, which is a perfectly logical thing to say. Will make my Abomination more than cheap enough, but the ordering of this is slightly frustrating, so I'd probably just run the Hazmat over Sunspot. Outside, and like Cyclops is going to hit 2 things. You just have a million ways to get tons of little extra benefits and extra power. That Hulk gets huge because you can waste an extra energy. That's a power on Sunspot, -2 from Cyclops, and +2 on Hulk. Very, very cool list from Unfit Parrot that you should really check out, especially if you like have Ajax and miss playing a bunch of High Evo, because High Evo hasn't really been a meta deck in a long time, but it is a very cool list. So you can find a deck guide video of this at youtube.com/unfitparrot. If actually, friends, do me a favor. This is going to be our season pass quest of the day. Instead of just being here, go check out Unfit Parrot and hit a sub. He's at like 600 subs. If you don't know, 1,000 is monetization on YouTube. So go toss Unfit Parrot a sub there, and then just come back here and let me know you did that, and that's how you enter to win a season pass for today. So this deck needs Evo, US Agent, Ajax, and Goliath. Cassandra Nova can be Morph, and Man-Thing can be Hazmat. If you're cutting Cassandra Nova, for the love of God, make sure you add Hazmat, please. Hey, if you'd like to see some gameplay from these decks, obviously a lot of these people have their own channels, but we also have the stream team. Today is Sunday, so Obihaved will be streaming some cool decks. FaThorNewman has a weekly review of decks out right now, and Gregor2424 will be streaming tomorrow. All right, next up, we got Baby Shuri. You might know Big Baby. He is one of the top 5 ranked players in the world currently today, and finished in the top 5 last season as well. This is the wrong list, however. I'm going to tell you right away. I went and messaged Baby about this. I was like, Baby, this is yours, right? Just double checking everything. And Baby replied, and in this list, Zabu should be Psylocke. Cool? Zabu should 100% be Psylocke. Unfortunately, this deck is otherwise just kind of really expensive, but it is very cool, very powerful. Baby goes by the name in-game of Dr. Stinkfartson. So you need Scarlet Spider, Rania, Man-Thing, Scar for this list. You can probably try another 4 for Man-Thing, but I'm not sure what that would be, is kind of the problem. You want a 4 that can win a lane alone, especially win a lane alone if hit by Namora, right? Because if you go Man-Thing Namora, you've got a 12 power Man-Thing, and if they've got anything cheap in there, you've sort of stolen that lane. Baby says Psylocke is better than Zabu, so make that change. Symbiote can be Wong. It's worse, but it's doable. And Nico can be Iron Fist here. So turn 1, you want Naranja. Turn 2 is meant to be Psylocke. So, let's go that way. So let's talk about your turn 3 plays. I want to actually walk you through this. You can happily Man-Thing. Man-Thing tends to mean you're going to go the Namora path. You can Symbiote Spider-Man in a lane alone. That's fine. You'd much rather play Shuri at that point, though, especially if you have Aranya out already. Scarlet Spider is fine at this point, but much harder to use than the other cards. Scarlet Spider on 3 is okay. That means you're also probably taking a Namora path. The Shuri path and the Namora path are sort of different paths, right? Like there's a path that goes Scarlet Spider into Namora and Trigger, and then you've got that to make your Scar cheap. And there's a path that goes Shuri into make Black Panther be alone in a lane into Zola, and that works just as well. So like you've got these 2 different paths depending on how you want to go with this list, which is why you need Psylocke. So if you don't see that, feel free to drop a 2+1. You're dropping an Aranya and a Jeff or whatever. Remember, Jeff is really great here because you can move it around and make sure it's alone for Namora, or is alone for Namora, and then is no longer alone in a lane you want to compete with. Turn 4 is Shuri or Symbiote. Perfectly fine. Obviously, if you're already Shuried, now it can be Scarlet Spider. Turn 5 can be Black Panther. It can be Scarlet Spider on Shuri, or it can be Man-Thing pending the deck. If you can push a card to a lane alone to Zola it, that is obviously ideal. You can't always do that, but if you can, that's great. If you have the 2-lane thing, you do Namora. And then you end with Zola, or you end up with Scar, plus whatever you can. And your Scar is reasonably often 2 costs, so a Scar and an Nico, a Scar and a Scar and a Jeff are perfectly fine plays. Yeah, that's it. That's sometimes you can pull off a Scar and a Man-Thing if it costs 2. But yeah, that's what you do. This list is very strong and very cool. It is an expensive one. Sorry about Aranya Series 5, Nico's not important. Jeff is not important enough for it to really matter. Jeff could be whatever. You can run Psylocke and Zabu if it makes you really happy and cut Jeff, although Jeff gives you that extra Namora pull. It could just be Nightcrawler, right? You're not going to lose too much. Scarlet Spider. So you need Scarlet Spider, Aranya, and Namora. That's 3 Series 5 cards. Man-Thing is Series 4. And Scar and Scars and Symbiote Spider-Man are Series 5, but they're both former Season Pass cards. Please buy the damn Season Pass. I mean, it's just such amazing value. All right, play this list. It's one of the best lists in Marvel Snap. Like, period. This is a very Shang light meta, so this deck is insanely, insanely overpowered right now. Hey, if you're interested in Pokemon Pocket, which is the new Pokemon game that works fairly similarly to Marvel Snap, it's meant to be like quick games and snappy. It's not quite as good as Snap, in my personal opinion, but it is a very fun game. So if you'd like to check out our channel for it, my 8-year-old son and I have a channel for it. It's called the Pocket Meta. Please do check it out. You can just type in Pulse Glazer Pokemon, or you can check the description to this video. All right, we're going to finish up with this Drono deck, which is a thena control list. I was trying to remember the stats. So 65% win rate in 66 games is legitimately great stats. This list is trying to abuse Daredevil to basically make sure that you can ruin your opponent's life with usually Cosmo, but sometimes a Rogue, sometimes a Negasonic, sometimes a Red Guardian. It depends what you have, but like that extra information from Daredevil is absolutely insane in this meta. The best deck is probably the version that's fairly similar to this that runs like Iron Man and Mystique and Claw. You probably know the list, right? I featured it here at least twice, and it's all over the meta. So that's probably the best list. This list just beats it. It says, okay, great. So you're going to play your Darkhawk there. I'm going to Red Guardian there that same turn, or Rogue there that same turn. Oh, you're going to try and play this combo of cards. Well, there's a Cosmo there all of a sudden. It's crazy how strong this is. Daredevil before turn 5 is completely overpowered right now. We saw that in the tournament earlier today. Play this list. You will not be sad you did. Also, come on, you know you want to play Negasonic. So you can find Drono on twitch.tv/Drono. This list is relatively expensive. Agent Venom, Thena, Kitty, Madame Web, and Elsa are needed. Red Guardian can be Shang. You can try Jeff for Madame Web, but what Madame Web offers you early is if you get that Madame Web out early, you not only get the extra Angela stuff, you can Cosmo, and if you Cosmo Madame Web, you sort of have a Cosmo wherever you want for that Daredevil turn, and there's a lot of power in that. So like a thing you could do is, right, you could go Agent Venom or Angela into Cosmo and then drop Madame Web and Daredevil on that lane, or Daredevil in one lane and Cosmo in another lane, and then you just sort of go off that way. There's a lot of power to that. You can also do the same basic thing with, if you can get Prio with Negasonic, and then you can move Negasonic into the lane that they're going to play their turn 5 on, which is just crazy strong. Just crazy strong. All right. Oops, did we do replacements? Yeah. Red Guardian can be Shang here. Red Guardian's important, but Shang still has enough targets to be useful and is severely underplayed right now. Agent Venom, Thena, Kitty, Madame Web, Elsa. All right, so 65% win rate. Turn 1, you want a Kitty. You don't have any other ones. The other thing, I guess, Madame Web could be as Kate Bishop. This deck does want a Kate Bishop. Turn 2, Agent Venom over Angela. Turn 3, Elsa or 2+1. Turn 4, Daredevil and Thena. Turn 5, with Daredevil, you want a Cosmo or Negasonic and play another card, triggering your Thena and obviously shutting them down. And then turn 6, Red Guardian and Juggernaut. Juggernaut into a Cosmo or a Negasonic is crazy, crazy, crazy strong. That's how you play. This list is really straightforward for a control list. It's very strong and very worth checking out. Drono is an absolute beast of a tournament player, stellar player. Go check him out on Twitch and do try this list. This is like one of the best sleeper lists in Marvel Snap. I love throwing a secret list at the end of videos, and this is this one. Questions of the day. Our first is Carelessly. That's why Second Dinner doesn't do yearly season pass subs. That's a really good question. So on my Patreon, I have like discounts for if you subscribe for a year. I think Second Dinner should do that. I think the reason they don't is they sort of want to be able to play with what the season pass does. We know they're releasing a super premium season pass soon, so that'll have like more variants and more nonsense in it. So perhaps that is why they're not releasing this yearly one. Maybe they've been working on that premium one for a while, but they absolutely should, because like I and many others would immediately buy it, even at a slight, if it was only a slight discount. Philip Ratko asks what horror games I love, and I've got 3, but I can't remember the name of the third, so you're gonna have to help me. The first is Clock Tower. It was there were several, but the PlayStation one is the one I really loved. It's sort of an adventure game where you're running from a killer named Scissorman. You cannot fight off Scissorman. Scissorman, if he finds you and catches you, will stab you and kill you. So if you see him, your only option is to sort of run and hide and try and get away, and it's unbelievably scary. The first Silent Hill, which is basically the horror JRPG, is another horror video game I absolutely love. We can count Shadow Hearts 1 and 2 as horror JRPGs, and many do, but like outside of one or two segments in the first one, they're not really horror. They have monsters in them, right? So I guess like they're monster slasher. I don't know, whatever. Shadow Hearts 1 and 2 are some of my favorite games ever. I don't usually think of them as horror, and I didn't even consider them as in this list until I was talking about Silent Hill and realized, close enough. There's also this game, and I didn't get super far in it, but it was a PS2 game, and I played a lot of it for a couple of weeks. Where at the very beginning of the game, you wake up in a bathroom and you've killed a woman, and you have to like hide her, and then hide her body, and then all this mystic stuff starts happening around you, and it's got a lot of like quick time events, which are kind of lame. But that game was really fun. If you know what it is, please let me know in the comments. Lunar Chris asks if NYC has a vibe with both the Mets and the Yankees alive, and yeah, like strangers start talking to each other about Mets and Yankee stuff, which is weird. I'm not a big baseball fan. Someone can ask me about my baseball fandom if they are so inclined, but I'm not a big baseball fan anymore. But like random people walk up to me and be like, "So what about blah? Do you like the Mets?" And I'm like, "Wow." But yeah, there is 100% a vibe around. It's a buzz. All right. Certain to support on our Patreon come with on air. Thanks. I'm going to say thank you to a bunch of people. Thank you to Abigail Giesland, Mandatory Burnout, It Reek, Carlos, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, Always Kind, LAB, FaThorNewman. Check him out on Twitch and YouTube, please. Good Dog Gamer, who just released a sick deck that I've got to find time to cover. Inc. I am Frostman, Jane Everett, Corwin, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, Caretix Lee, Koi Ray, Black Dahlia, Pyrophoros, The Goat Seeker, Dent Man, Falcon, Archangel 3K, Hollowed, Quid Pro Joe, The King of New Marvel Snap Card Content, Doc D, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginger Prime, Ratko, Philip Rakovich, we just saw his question, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, X Force V, and Skippy G, whose birthday is coming, Tommy Nyquist, the winner of Satchels League Season 1, The King of Bros, Bruh, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Campbell, Woody, Kev, Sihoda, Lunar Chris, John Q, and Jimmy Mick. Q-Town is looking a little light. Corwin's got to move over. Clam, Eighth Sage, Mount Supreme Models, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrum Mix, Hoot. Congrats on that infinite, my friend. Matt H, TJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, the King of Canada, who you should also check out on Twitch and YouTube, another wonderful stream team member, the great Jonesy. Check out the Triple Threat over on YouTube. My friend and yours, Lauren Whatevs, the Pirate King Tuccrr, who made it also to the top 16 of that major second dinner tournament, the Homie Min, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. Check out these two videos that are right here on the side of your screen and hit that sub right below me. We release a ton of content. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you stick around, and I'll see you tomorrow with hopefully some tournament decks from one of the biggest and most involved tournaments Marvel Snap has ever had. Peace.